Well, here I am talking about Warcraft, and I don't want to be talking about this movie by myself. It's not really appropriate for me to be talking about this movie by myself. I should have at least someone here who's kind of knowledgeable about this shit, so time to use my magic. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Oh, hey! Oh, is this the car? Hey!
It would have been really funny if I used my magic when you were taking a shit. So I'm like, oh, dude, I'm gonna send you back. Let's finish up. We'll go back and be talking about this movie. I actually don't know magic. He's been out there for 2 years waiting for this movie to come out.
Oh, it's true. It's true. Wait, no, it's been more like 5 or 6, hasn't it? We've been talking about...
For Warcraft?
Yeah, for Warcraft. It's been like... Man,
I can't remember. I remember when Sam Raimi was attached to it.
Right. And we'd be talking about it then. We'd be talking about it during Radiodrome. Hi, Josh.
That was a long time ago. So I can see the comments. Oh, I could already pick FJ's freaking reaction to Radiodrome. Fucking asshole. Well, was it worth the wait?
Yes, it was. Because if you remember back in the day, I was all like, man, they better not make this like another D&D movie where it's just a bunch of nameless characters, forgetful characters, and, you know, they need to base it off of the lore, which they did. Oh, it's so good.
Fuck movie did you see? You just described what I sat through.
Here, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll add to the lighting. Ooh.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Ooh, there we go. There we go.
Perfect.
Actually does work a lot better.
Man, this movie was not easy to sit through. Well, look, you're the audience for this movie.
I guess.
You are. You totally are. You know way more of this stuff.
The thing is,
way more than I am.
The thing is, Blizzard Entertainment is really hoping that more people would get into this. So you know, your opinion as an outsider. Mm-hmm. Is very valid because, you know, if you're just like, man, this movie sucked, then, you know, Blizzard's going to be like, oh shit.
But as a fan, what did you think of this?
As a fan, I was this was great. It was just fantastic. There was, I mean, you know, let's see. Okay, so I was a player on WoW, World of Warcraft. And I even played some of the Warcraft real-time strategy games, which, full disclosure, if you're going into this movie expecting a World of Warcraft movie, you're not going to get it. This is based way before World of Warcraft. Way before. So, like Medivh is in it, if that tells you anything. For those that know. For those that know. So, anyway,
did you like any of the characters in this movie?
I did. I mean, they were all... I mean, Khadgar was great. Medivh was great. Lothor. Durotan was awesome. You know? He was just like...
I just saw this movie. I only know one person you're talking about.
Oh.
I know
Khadgar?
Yeah, because it sounded kind of like Cat Car. That's the only reason I remember that.
Cat Car?
Yeah.
What's Cat Car from?
It's not from anything. It just sounds like the word cat car.
Okay.
It's kind of like, oh, I remember the villain from Sorcerer's Apprentice because his name sounded kind of like Whorebath. That's the thing. Every character should have had a silly name in this movie. Then I would have remembered it.
Well, okay, I guess I will agree that there were so many characters that you really had to try, and it was really difficult to try and keep up with.
Quite a bit. This movie. If you're a fan of all of this, of what it's based on and everything, and you go to the movie and it really works for you, I mean, good. The movie's made for you. Like, you should get some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Me personally, this whole movie did feel like I'm watching something in a foreign language and I don't have the subtitles.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it feels like I'm watching an adaptation of something and I don't know the source material. Like it's like when they released Dune back in the day and they had sheets given to the audience that explain things as if it's easy to read in a movie theater.
Well, yeah.
And I get it. Like, I don't know the source material and all that, but you know what? I mean, this is a fantasy epic. Fantasy epics, whether they're based on something or not, typically do have made up words, made up species, made up slang terms for things, and they work it into the movie fine. You know what they're saying, you get the context of what's going on. Just because somebody hasn't maybe played something or isn't very familiar with the source material doesn't mean like, oh, well then you should really have no opinion on this, because I've seen movies based on books that I haven't read and I like the movies just fine and I'm not confused. I've seen movies based on TV shows that I haven't seen, but the movie works just fine. Again, it's not uncommon for a movie like this to use a bunch of different, in this case, like orcs and all that, and like their sorcery terms, but man, this movie felt like if you took you could tell this movie was cut down to 2 hours from probably about 3 hours, because to me, this thing felt like you took like a season of a show, like something like, if you took like Game of Thrones, and then edited it down to like a 2-hour movie. I mean, that was really this for me. It felt like watching something like Last Airbender, where it's just like all of this material condensed down to this pretty short running time. There's really not much in the way of characters. Suddenly we're here with the humans, suddenly we're here with the orcs, and back and forth, and then there's Ben Foster in this film, who feels he's the Guardian.
Oh.
Who feels like
Medivh.
Like when you're watching an Uwe Ball movie that's like really horribly miscast, like Michael Madsen showing up in like Blood Rain, or like Burt Reynolds in like In the Name of the King. Like that's kind of Ben Foster in this. I kept looking at him thinking he was playing the Messiah most of the time.
like
thunder,
my character.
Yeah. Thunder only happens when it's raining. It's like thunder, lightning. The way you love me is frightening.
I can kind of see that.
I would have loved it if he did that. That would have put a spark of humor in this thing. Something, anything.
It wouldn't have fit, but you're right, it would have been funny.
If he was just up there on the rock going, do you believe in heaven above? Do you believe in love?
The incantation, we must stop Medivh.
What is this dude? Is this like from the game?
God.
Like, I don't know, but this guy's alright. Maybe I should start playing this game. Does the game have like a Grand Theft Auto soundtrack? I didn't know that about the game. Fuck.
No, let's go back to like you could tell it was edited down. I mean, because everything to me felt pretty well flowing.
Well, I mean,
it didn't seem very, like there was holes.
Well, granted, you knew everything they were saying.
Oh, well.
You speak this language that they're talking in this movie.
I do speak.
I don't.
I do speak Orcish.
For me, it was sort of like, I think I'm in the wrong class. This is supposed to be like history class or something. I think I might have gone into a foreign language class. I don't know. Sitting through this was just I had the worst time sitting through this movie.
Did you? I'm sorry. I know about
this is your fault, man.
I know.
It's fucking your fault.
I say I'm sorry that because whenever I'm seeing a movie with a friend, it is good. It is cool whenever they both have a good time. And I did about halfway through. I leaned over at Brad and I go, "You look like you're bored to tears."
I was so bored. Like, there were so many things. Look, I've had some shit nights this year. Many of them I would rather be doing than sitting through this movie. I'll put it into perspective. There was a night in 2016 when I was stranded in Detroit because my fiance text dumped me. I would rather do that again than sit through Warcraft.
Whoa! Ow! Ow! Ow!
Okay, I'll do you.
Ow.
I'll do you one better. There's a lot of reviews for this movie that are comparing it to Battlefield Earth. Honestly, I think that's really unfair to Battlefield Earth. Because Battlefield Earth worked hard to be as memorable as it is. Battlefield Earth is a 16-year-old movie, and people can still quote that shit left and right. Sure, not for the reasons the filmmakers intended, but it's memorable. It's got over-the-top, bizarre shit in that movie. Yeah, it's bad, but it works hard at getting that reputation. This movie, I'm not gonna remember this in a couple of hours. This needed some Battlefield Earth in it. This needed a Turl. Or like, Jupiter Ascending with crazy Eddie Redmayne showing up every now and then. This needed something like that.
Durotan, I've been leading the Horde even before you could spell your name.
Yeah, something, anything. The orcs in this movie look like just like a bad iteration of like Dwayne Johnson's Scorpion King. The special effects are about as good.
Now I'm drinking.
I hated the special effects in this film.
Really?
I hated them so much because when the orcs were on screen, oh, I like the half-breed in the movie. You can tell she is because she's got the orc teeth, but she doesn't have CG splooged all over her face.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. I kind of agree with that approach because,
That
like,
they're
if this was
CGI?
sort of well motion captured, you
Or
know,
motion capture, if it looks.
but yeah. I guess in a way I'm kind of splitting hairs, but my thing is thanks to CGI. We can actually have a difference between full-blooded orcs and Garana, which was a half orc. She was
that
half
without CGI.
Yes and no.
Movies were doing it for years before something.
And that's what I mean. Yes and no. I mean, they can, but will it be better? Will it be better?
It won't look like a cartoon. In this, whenever I saw the orcs in this movie, I was looking at them like there had to have been some guy who said, we could have some really kick-ass makeup put on these actors. Give them their big underbites, really kind of cake some shit on there. Like, stuff you'd see back in the day. Let's really do a good, solid job with the makeup. And then you have another jackass who says, I have a better idea. Let's make it look fake. Like, they look like shit. Like, you can... I would have had problems with this movie regardless, but at least I could have been like, the makeup effects were really good.
Yeah.
Because you would have this live action stuff going on, and then it turns into an animated movie for every now and then. Like, they have like dwarfs in this. They have this round table thing with these human characters sitting there, some people with makeup, and then they have these dwarfs that look like cartoon characters just walked in. It's wildly distracting. Like, I've seen countless fucking movies that had no problems having dwarf characters without resorting to this kind of cartoonish-ass special effect. God.
Let's see.
Look at, I know that this wasn't an orc, but look at how a character like Tim Curry looked in Legend. This big fucking demon, fucking devil creature, these giant fucking horns, looks great, looks fantastic, totally believable this going on, this big fucking beast. And look, to be fair, I'm not a huge fan of Legend either.
Right.
But, oh my boy, that Tim Curry devil character looked fucking great.
Right.
And here, like 30 years later, we have this fucking cartoon shit we're looking at.
Right. I guess my only rebuttal to that would be like, you would have like a situation. You run the risk of having a situation like the old Ninja Turtles movie, where you have guys in like styrofoam suits and everything. So that's,
I'm not necessarily saying that. I mean, like, you don't have to put a guy in a suit, but like, just, you would have give him like some fucking prosthetics and shit, and like give him a giant fucking overbite with things like that. Like, I know there was motion capture going on in this, but like, hey, at the end of the day, it looks like a guy with a fucking cartoon mouth talking to me.
I mean, so like, what about, but like, what about the sheer size of the orcs? Like, how do you do that with practical?
You can look at that was. I've seen that done in like really low budget shit. Does it look perfect? Sometimes not really, but sometimes it looks perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like like Lord of the Rings did like things with manipulating sizes, and fucking Tim Curry in Legend is giant as shit. When a movie like Willow has way more style and humor and better effects, makeup and otherwise, than this, stay home and watch Willow, which is an amazing movie. And this movie was reminding me of a couple of times when the baby was put in the thing and put on the river.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Like, if this movie ended with, because the last scene in it is the baby and the little thing going down the lake, and then it happens upon somebody's feet. If it turned out that was like Willow Offgood, like, and it's like a crossover thing, like, fuck. I hate this movie, but it just roped me in with a sequel. So apparently we're going to get that Willow crossover.
You are great. I hate to disappoint you, Brad, but no, that's not what's gonna
Willow's
happen.
not in continuity with it? Damn it.
Hey, me gosh. I stole the baby.
Don't let him talk to you that way, Bertle Cut. God, this movie just needed... It really needed a lot of humor to it. It did. This movie's idea of humor is like there's one part where the guy goes, "That went well."
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess you're right. It did tend to take itself too seriously in a few parts, and I guess. Damn it, Brad! You're gonna make me hate this movie.
I don't want look. I'm not this movie's audience.
But no, these are valid points. But these are valid points because I think. Damn, and that's the thing. Is that I was gonna say there was that cameo by a Murloc. But again, if you don't really know the source material, you're going to be like, what the hell was that?
I know, right? Like, some characters were coming up, I was just expecting them to say, like, Dewanawunga. Or like, hey, Jabba, no bother. Like, what's happening? What is this?
So, it's like, yeah, all right, yeah. I can agree. It could have done more to appeal to the outside crowd, because that's just the thing with these movies, is that you're gonna need you want to appeal to the outside crowd.
But I mean, I guess like if it at least appeals to its own audience, at least that's something.
Yeah.
Look, I don't like this movie at all, but like at least that's better than it appeals to nobody.
Right.
Is this movie going over fairly well with the fan base of the games?
I believe so, because I mean China loves it, and there's tons of Chinese characters or not Chinese characters, Chinese players, and so I mean
it's like those are orcs, Jared. Those are Chinese people. How many times do I have to tell you this?
Actually, pandas.
Man. I like the part in the movie where the wolf was on screen. And then the dude, like, had a knife up to the owner's neck and was like, "Stay away, wolf, or I'll cut your master." I'm like, I would love to see that. That made me laugh in a, I don't know if in the intended way, because I was just picturing like a Western. The bad guy's got a knife up to, like, where the horse is coming up to him. The guy's got a knife. Like, back off, horse. I'm gonna cut your master. What a stupid villain.
How much do you love your master? He says. Yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah, it did kind of seem a little hokey.
I wish more of this movie was hokey, because that's really like one of the few kind of unintentional laughs I had in this movie. Like, I had one towards the end where the guy is like, I guess he's king now, and there was this, there's a part at the end where why this made me laugh, but it did. They're all standing up there, like there's a ceremony going on, and then it cuts to a woman or somebody standing there, and then next to it is just this guy with big white eyes, just it looks like, did someone slip acid into the guy's drink, like, before this ceremony started? What's with this dude? Is he okay? Is he having a stroke?
I'm trying to think of what guy you're talking about, because did he have...
He had like white glowing eyes and was just like,
I think that was an elf. Did he have long eyebrows and...
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know. He looked like Jeffrey Rush in Gods of Egypt. Another movie I would rather watch than this. Because Gods of Egypt was at least kind of funny.
All right. So anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed myself, but then again, I'm a fan of the source material. If you are a fan of the lore of Warcraft, you're gonna love this movie, because this movie tells the lore. It starts at Blackhand in the Dark Portal, and the orcs coming from... There are even Draenei in it. That was the blue people in the cage. That
yeah, I heard you over there going like, "Oh!"
Yeah!
And I'm sitting there like, I'm glad he's having fun.
Draenei were in this movie.
I felt like I'm your parent, and I'm taking you to go see this movie you
Thanks,
wanted to
Dad.
see. This had to have been like when my dad took me to see the Ninja Turtles movies back in the day. Like, I'm sitting there like having none of this, just kind of like, "Oh, is shit gonna be over?" Meanwhile, he's next to me like, "Oh, there's the thing, and with the thing, and like, oh my god," and I'm sitting there like, "These kids today, I don't understand their shit." Which is hilarious, because you're a year older than me. That is exactly how I felt watching this movie. Man, fuck. Who am I taking the boy to see today? Like,
Hey.
God. So, yeah, I mean, like, I was, glad you were at least enjoying yourself. I was kind of smirking whenever I could hear you over there recognizing something. Because Lord knows, I didn't understand shit in this movie. You're sitting there like, "Oh, man," and I'm sitting there like, "It's a tree. What is he talking about? Is this tree significant in the fucking game?"
Yes. No. By the way, no. The elves tree is not in it.
Oh.
Just make sure the fans...
Lore of War... More like Boar of Warcraft.
Boom! Sick burn!
Shit. Oh, I did kind of smirk when, at the beginning when the orcs go through the Stargate and end up in Terra Nova. I did like when these fucking orcs are going through there, and then it cuts to a reaction shot from a deer. There's all these ooga, 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 bunga, bunga, and then like it cuts to this deer reaction shot with the biggest "what the fuck" look that a deer could ever possibly give in their life. Like, Bambi's mom getting shot probably didn't have as much a look of surprise on her than this poor thing had.
Oonga boonga.
Oonga go dunga dunga dunga. The fuck? This is just, it's a hard, it's not an easy movie for me to talk about. So
All right, so
Look, like, if you like, I guess fans probably like, because I did see some negative reviews online in which the comment section were turned into fans of the game yelling at the reviewer.
Right.
So I got that to look forward to. Like, at least I'm sitting here. Look, I didn't like this movie, but at least I'm sitting here like, man, if you liked it, cool. Right on, man. If it's for you and you like it, peace be unto you. Like, so, if you're a fan, then
tell you what, can I answer any questions?
I wouldn't know what to ask.
Where to start?
Yeah, that'd be like me coming in during like finals prep for like a physics exam. Like, I don't know what it's No, I can't. No, I can't. I really can't think of anything. This was kind of one ear and out the other, man.
I see.
It was. The only thing I could be is like, what's a flip norp? Blah.
What's a flip norp? Easy, dude, easy. You don't want to kill the World of Warcraft again.
I haven't seen that in like 5 years. I haven't seen that since we made that. It's like Brad and Jared play Warcraft. I had to ask you about it earlier. I was like, what happened? Did I like enter in like some code that blew up the game or something? I can't remember. What I remember most about us doing that was there was some troll site afterwards that said something like, oh great, now Brad's resorting to Let's Plays. Because obviously didn't see it. Like, what? This is not a Let's Play. Yeah, so it's a Let's Play. I destroyed the game at the end of it. Didn't even know that was possible. So if you know nothing about any of this, do not see this movie.
Well, I would say try.
Don't in the theater. Maybe at home.
Oh.
If you maybe don't know about the source material of this, but you like fantasy epics, wait until it's on video and maybe try. Like me, if you are exactly like me, just stay far the fuck away from this.
Okay, how about that then? Yeah, I'll agree with that. But if you're kind of like me or kind of in between here, this line, if you're like riding this line, go see it, man. It's what, $10? 10?
Something like that.
Yeah.
We were at the 2D screening.
Yeah, 2D.
So if you're in between, if you're like, I don't know this source material, but I really want to fucking orc, maybe it'll do it for you, man. Maybe
Who doesn't want
something out of
Who
it.
doesn't want an orc? Noctaragar.
Oh man, hooked up with someone at the bar again. I gotta stop going to the 3 o'clock bars. I keep ending up in medieval times. That's really any kind of final word I would have on this. I know the. Oh,
do we still do trailers or?
I mean, we typically, if Sarah's in a video, we do, but she writes them down on her arm and stuff.
Oh.
The trailers we had in front of this, we've already talked about.
Oh, okay. I would, like I said, I enjoyed it. I think I will say that I do. You do present some valid points for criticism, and Chris Metzen, if you're watching this, take some pointers for the sequel. Hope there's gonna be a sequel. There's gonna be a sequel.
Don't ask me about that. It'll turn into the movie you don't want.
Maybe not.
It'll turn into like an 80s canon movie where they use the time portal to go to like 1980s Los Angeles.
Okay, don't listen to that.
It'll turn into like Masters of the Universe. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yes!
It's gonna turn into like Beastmaster 2 through the portal of time.
The orcs hit Manhattan. Orcs take Manhattan.
I already love that better than this movie.
Oh
my god. Together, man. So, I know Conjuring 2 is also out. I'm going on a trip to Tulsa early tomorrow morning, so I didn't have time to see 2 movies. So we had planned on this for a while, so this weekend I'll see Conjuring 2 sometime this weekend.
For 6 years we've been planning this, right?
There's a difference. For 6 years, you've been looking forward to this. For 6 years, I've been like, yeah, that's something I'm eventually gonna have to see. So Conjuring 2, I'll see at some point this weekend. And in the meantime, if you've made it this far in the video, we've got a GoFundMe link over on the site, thecinemasnob.com. If you click on this video, sadly, Letty, Brian's wife, Letty, her father, passed away a few days ago. So they've got a lot of different, expenses and everything, and they needed a bit of help right now. So we've got a link for a GoFundMe over at over on the site. So, and you can also see it on our Twitter account too, twitter.com/thecinemasnob. So if you can find it in your heart, look past all the bad things I've said about Warcraft. But check that out and donate if you can. If you can't, then at least share it or spread it around.
We should also mention the fact that it was directed by your cousin Duncan.
Duncan Jones.
Oh yeah. You kept telling me about your Uncle Dave. Now I get it. Now I see why
Duncan Jones. He's the black sheep. We don't talk to him. He's really racist. He hates orc. Can you tell this anti-orc propaganda?
He's racist against orcs.
The biggest propaganda film since D.W. Griffith made Birth of a Nation. Only it's about orcs. They couldn't even get real orcs. They put white people in orc face. The hell kind of bullshit is that? Oh my god. Next week, we got Conjuring coming up, but next week is Independence Day, I think. I think it's Independence Day Resurgence, maybe, or Finding Dory, or it might be Finding Dory. I can't remember. Something.
Welcome
There'll
to
be
Earth.
Something out. Not in this one. He's not in this one.
Well, hopefully, what's his name? Jeff Goldblum says it.
That would be, yeah.
Well, welcome to Earth.
I'm excited. See you next week.